Anna, it's
Well,
great being
I'm
live with you.
glad we, yes, it feels like we just met in Bali and now we are online, which is amazing. I'm glad.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time and making this happen. I think you had the idea, like after our chat, that I really enjoyed back here in Bali. You had the great idea of like making this happen. And I think, like when the ideas are so good that it feels stupid to say no. And
Yeah.
I
And you
think
know
it's
what?
a
Because
good feeling.
having that energy alignment is very important. And I feel like we see a lot of things in a very similar way. So,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good conversation, and I think people will get a lot of value from that. And even if
Yeah.
someone can't do it online live right now, they can watch it later. Yeah, I want to ask you, Georgia, about because I love your posts, how you write about how LinkedIn changed your life. And before we start and talking about, giving free value, do you want to give everyone a bit of update on how exactly LinkedIn changed your life?
Yeah, sure. I think that that's a great point and a great question because actually everything that brought me here was basically being able to deliver real value, real help for people. Like I was coming from uh, being a strategic consultant for billion-dollar companies before for nearly 4 years. And, that was super valuable experience, being in rooms, literally delivering presentations to rooms of 9 figures. I think that was like an experience that by itself stood apart, but then there was something missing. So like the connection with humans, like delivering real value to humans. And also on the personal side, I wanted to be able to achieve freedom, like location freedom, financial freedom, so that I could travel the world with my girlfriend, which I'm currently doing as I'm sitting right now in Indonesia, Bali. And my girlfriend is in the other room and we work remotely, we visit. And so I think that, being able to come here on LinkedIn, build a community that right now sits at around 5,000 people, and being able to like at the ease of one click, being able to be seen and deliver value to hundreds or thousands of people every day. I mean, this is, you know, like something that's, even though I'm against social media, I cannot take away from the power of them.
Yeah,
How
I
about
know. Isn't that
yourself?
amazing? Yeah, it's amazing. I was actually talking to my husband about this literally at the dinner, because it's obviously late evening in Australia right now, and we were talking at the dinner because I was just talking to a fashion designer in Paris, and obviously like around business coaching and that sort of stuff. So, but we are meeting in Paris in June because I'm going to be in Paris, and
Say,
the conversations we had, and I'm in Australia and he's in Paris, and it's just incredible. My husband is 45, turning 45. I'm turning 39 next week, and we were like, this is incredible time of like of life we live in, when we just literally, and obviously we connected on LinkedIn, so we literally can connect with so many people and have so many opportunities just at the click of a button. So I completely understand that, and I currently have clients, I think, from 13 countries already, not even 12, 13 countries. And
mm-hmm.
it's just incredible opportunity to be able to do it just, online like that. I'm fully with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as you said, like the connections that you can make, even though like I believe that the connections that you start and you keep online only, maybe they're not as deep as the ones that you can have in person. But then, for example, the two of us, right? We started having conversations maybe, let's say, 12 months ago. Like we even had a call before actually meeting in person. But then when we met in person and that whole connection started online, then we could go deeper. And then we spent
Yeah.
whatever 3-4 hours chatting at lunch, and then
Yeah.
talking from like purpose to your kids and to like our beliefs and values, and connecting on a deeper level. I think that is something that really we need to harness the social media and these platforms as much as we can,
Yeah.
because then it just
100%.
builds connections that even if they don't become clients, which is not always the case and it's not always the point, sometimes you
Hmm.
just build great friends, great connections
And
that maybe will
relationships. Yeah.
relationships that will allow you to help others. And I think, harnessing this is really something that most people should do.
Totally. All right.
Yeah.
So talking about beliefs and our kind of mindset, how, like, why would you give free value, Giorgio? Why would you not charge money? We all are here to kind of, make business work and yes, serve people, but why would you give it for free?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because most answers would lead basically to just say, just don't, because then people will think that you come in cheap because you are offering value for free, so maybe that's not premium. But the whole point is not just delivering value for free, but letting people in the way you particularly think, and giving tactical advice that can really help them go from A to B. And the way you deliver that free value then becomes the strategic part of how you get perceived via premium. And I think that in this chat, we're going to go through, some of the ways that both me and you deliver that free value. But I think I'm going to pass the ball on to you with the next topic. It's like, for example, having a 30-minute free chat, that is not free value. That is basically depriving yourself of like 30 minutes of your quality time that you could, push into your own company, working for your clients, or like evolving your business. And instead, you're getting people to just pick your brain. And I think that here already I want to listen how you think about this.
Yes. So it's very interesting because obviously when you start, and I think it's very important to do that separation. So when you start, like literally imagine it's your first, second, third week, right? Up to like 3 months. My recommendation always, and to my clients who are starting and to everyone, is like, doesn't matter how you call it, like have as many conversations as possible. Coffee chats, networking chats, but preferably with your ideal customer, right? With your ICP. Or with peers who can help you with getting close some gap in your knowledge or skill, who will say, what, there is a training there is a book there, I'm running something for free, do you want to come and join? You never know. But just my recommendation always to everyone is like, use every opportunity, and especially like if you can't afford, if you don't have money, use every opportunity. Go to, if you know those people gonna, like, you've kind of explored and you see that there is some value there, go to their master classes, go to their live events, go to their content, everything, and then connect with as many people. So do have those chats. But the moment you start kind of building your busy schedule in terms of your clients start to come in, you need to prioritize, and you need to understand that you just won't be able to do it all the time. And if you keep doing that all the time, and you will just deprive yourself of time that you could potentially spend on lead generating activities that going to bring you revenue, or serve or delivery to your clients, to your existing clients. But also, I say, like, your first 3 months, right, when you have those chats, they need to eventually in money, like some of those conversations. So if you have those chats just for the sake of having chats, and then you everything is data, right? Everything is information. And then you look back and you see that there was no point in that. Like, you probably haven't done it strategically correct. And that's what you and I are going to be talking about today, right? How to make it strategically correct. So everything you do starts with end goal in mind. Like, what's the end goal here? Like, what are we doing? What we are doing? And then you work backwards, and then you start thinking, okay, people need to taste the experience, how it feels to work with me, right? So, and I can't remember from who I saw that, like from Gary V or from Alex Ramosi, I can't remember, but he said, when you do that first, like, they can't buy like program with you 3 months, 6 months. They need to have a bit of taste what it is to work with you. How would it feel? What does the experience look like? And there are many ways how you can do that. So, but you can do it through these live events, you can do it through masterclasses, you can have through some strategy calls, through Loom videos that we're going to talk about. But having those constant coffee chats, like without proper structure, is going to lead to burnout and frustration and resentment, actually, that you feel like you give so much of energy and nothing comes back in return.
Yeah, and I think to continue on this conversation, I would think that even like when it comes to the nuances, we can have coffee chats. I do love having coffee chats, even like today. And actually, because of the situation in which the algorithm sits at the moment in 2026, which I did the whole like live even 2 weeks ago. But because like the reach is different and it's difficult to connect, there's a level of distrust at the moment because everyone is like pitch slapping right and left, and everyone is using AI. So you never know who's the actual authority in their own field. I think that having those chats to actually connect with humans, with like-minded humans, taking, for example, like we did, the two of us, the opportunity to meet in person, that is essential. But the way we phrase it is not, okay, can I pick your brain for 30 or 40 minutes, right? Because there are some people that literally will ask you, oh, can we jump into a call? Can we jump into a call? Exactly. And then you ask them, okay, sure. Like, what would you like to talk about? And then they say, oh, yeah, I would like to pick your brain on a struggle that I have on LinkedIn. And when they tell you that, or if you like phrase it that way yourself, then it's when you devalue your service, you water it down, your premiumness. And then people are just going to jump in, expect to get like 30, 40 minutes of like basically coaching. And then because it's the wrong mindset that they jump into the call in, then they're not going to be the right customers for you. They're not going to be like the dream client that you actually want to work with, because they come, they want quick value. They think that 30 minutes is gonna solve like the problems in their own lives, and then they're just gonna go and try it out, but they're never gonna text you again. And so all that loop really is kind of problematic. And so we need to separate coffee chats and pick your brain chats.
Yeah. So what would be your like approach? So what would you recommend how do you see how can I frame the question properly? Like, how do you see, what's the best way of working for you that you can then link of giving free value to signing high ticket clients later on? Like, what's your preferred approach? Give us a sneak peek into your world and operation system.
Yeah. So I'm gonna open up my brain and give a little bit of my strategies and the way I operate for myself and for my clients. And the whole bit starts with like, positioning, understanding like, what people stand for and how they're differentiated, how they work. And then like we do a whole bit of positioning for their profile. And I think that then we get tactical in understanding how can we break down the offer, like which piece of the offer would make most sense to have like sitting as a free piece of value in the profile behind an email wall, in the sense that we don't want, again, as I just said, like these people with the wrong mindset, they just come in and they want value for free, and maybe they're just collectors, the identity of being a collector. So they go right and left and they just download the resource, but they never go through it. So you want to make it, a bit hard. You want a bit of commitment from their side to actually opt in your world and in the value that you're going to deliver them, so that the ones with the wrong mindset, they're going to stay out. So you're not going to be for everyone, and you need to accept that. But then the ones that actually want more value, want the implementation, want the strategy that you can give them, of course, in the limited time that a lead magnet is going to allow them to pick your brain for, basically. But then those will give you their emails, and they're gonna be most probably like better ICPs than the ones that you left out. So we need to really differentiate the ones that we want to talk to and the ones that we're okay by letting go.
Yep.
And then on the other hand, for example, is intentional value, that basically customized value. And you mentioned before the loom, and this is like a big part of my strategy. And it comes on like outbound, let's say outreach, and it's a way to lead the conversation with value, because I think we both agree and we both connected really deeply on having a foundation of like purpose, of like actually wanting to change something, actually wanting to help humans. And so I do want to deliver that. At the same time, in this era, moment in time, we need to be careful of how we phrase ourselves so that we don't sound pitchy. But I go out to my dream client and I do try to offer them as much value as I can in a short amount of time. And then if they're interested, then of course I need to ask them to basically opt into this, whether like it's, do you want this? Yes or no. And then after I send them value, then they can, like even have a link to a chat with me, because they have seen how I think, they've gotten value. And so if that is valuable, then they can lead to a call, like they can come to a call with me. Still through a questionnaire, but this is we can go deeper later.
Yeah, I have actually, like what you just said, I have so many, we can unpack into so many levels. But
Yes.
what the few ideas that I have in mind is that firstly, like many people just have this scarce mentality, like it's mine, I'm not going to share it. What if what if they're all going to take those strategies and never come to me at all? And I always say, like, if you think like that, you will never make money in your business. Like this is just as simple as that. And I don't know how it works, but if you give to this world, the world gives back to you. That's as simple as that. But also it's like, oh, but what if my competitors, I had people signing up, like my competitors signing up to my masterclasses, learning, like trying to learn what I do. I'm like, I don't care. Go learn, come learn. It's only one of Annas in the world. It's only one of Georgios in the world. Like you can't replicate my energy. You can't replicate my system and methods that I built over like 15 years of my life. Like I'm fine. Just go whatever you want to come and learn. Like be okay with that. Like it's that kind of abundance and mentality and confidence in some way of what you can give to this world. So that's kind of what number one that I want to mention. And number two is that giving value from the first message is super, super important. I love it. Like even my connection requests, so many people get stuck. It's like, how do you connect with strangers? Like my connection request suggests that I'm going to give you value. Hey, George, this is kind of the content I post about. This is who I am. If that's something that, might interest you, you might steal a strategy or two of how I grew my business from 0 to 6 figures on LinkedIn. If that's something that of interest, would love to connect with you. Let's, support each other here. That's it. Like you start with value that you are just, inviting them to your ecosystem, to your world. And if someone like do you know how many replies I get? Not interested. This is a salesy tactic. Don't even message me anymore. That's okay. It means those people not gonna be your people anyway. They're not gonna come to you anyway, because I haven't even started selling anything. Because how can I start selling something without knowing if you have a gap that I can help you close, or you don't? So, and I think that's what many people get it wrong. Sales is not about trying to sell anything to anyone. It's about identifying a customer with the gap that your offer can help them close, and then serving them with your value at the exchange of monetary reward. As simple as that. So I'm not going to sell from first message anything. Like those 2 points that I want to make, about the mindset and be okay to share and giving value from first moment, I think it's super, super important. And I use it all the time and it works.
Yeah. And I think just to add even to that, because I found myself, throughout like, the process of learning how to do business and learning the right mindsets, giving value and all that stuff. So I found myself actually struggling to give as much value, because also I think I had the FOMO, of everyone posting like, the viral, like comment XYZ for like to get my free GPT and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I should be doing that. But also at the same time, I sort of don't want to talk to those people who just want the free resource and just go away. So I was like, how do I balance it out? And then I came across this sentence, which probably like you have heard, and most of the people listening to us right now might have heard. And it's, in this moment in time, knowledge and information are very abundant. There is nearly too much information. What's missing is execution.
Execution,
right?
yeah.
Like, so even when competitors come and they come to try and steal your things, or like people join a masterclass or watch a video, and if the back of your brain is maybe trying to tell you like, be careful, like people might be stealing your stuff, then just think about it. Like, do you think that what you're sharing it can be replicated by anyone? Like, probably not, because as you said, like you have 15 years in finance, right? Plus a personality that is completely like, that has developed by coming from Ukraine and whatever life experiences, right? So you're a very unique person. So the way you think, it's so unique. And the same for me, right? Like whatever my past, my experience as a consultant, right? Like nobody can package the way I think by watching me for an hour or watching a 10-minute video, right? So like that is like, when it comes to mindset, really the point that you need to be confident about. Nobody can steal your stuff in 30 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. And that free resources that we are talking about, and we can talk more about lead magnets and given a lot of value through a free stuff. That kind of thing is important because it helps us to build trust long term. Yes. So it's a leverage that you are building. That's not going to work immediately, but it definitely works long term. And it's so interesting to say that, because like I recently started working with a client who has been following me for 11 months. They consumed every piece of information I kind of shared, my YouTube videos, my lead magnets, my free email course, everything. And now they come to me and sign up for my high ticket program, obviously, to help me, for me to help them set up and grow their business. So it's like, and there are people who will only consume information. And I always say, I have people sign in high ticket clients with my free email course. So, I always say to everyone, have a really good evergreen lead magnet on your featured section on LinkedIn. This is super important. So my evergreen lead magnet is a 5 or 6 day free email course that I wrote myself. I invested a lot of time and put a lot of soul into that. But I had people messaging me like, Anna, I signed a 2K client just by following steps from your free course. That person, she doesn't need me at this stage, and that's okay. I say, go and apply everything I share in my free stuff. If you don't have resources, if you don't want to work with me, go and apply that. Or, there is a very famous coach his name is Peter Crone. He's a life coach, and he charges $10,000 per session or something like that. And he said his website is like, I charge $10,000 per session or per 90 minutes. If you can't afford me, do more research. Like, that's okay. Like if you either spend money to get somewhere faster, or you spend time to get there. So it's either or, you can't have both. So you pay someone like you, someone like me, to get to somewhere faster, because then you will execute. Someone will be there for you in your corner, helping you to get there faster. So like it's okay either way, and either way each party wins. They get the free value, our potential clients, competitors learn, and the world gets better. We build trust, eventually we attract more clients. So that's why I think this conversation is super important, that it's a huge strategy. And that's why Gary Vee says is like, give so much free value that people won't even question why they should work with you.
Clearly.
So
And I think, just jumping on this, like another person that says the same thing is Alex Hormozi. Like,
yep.
He built whatever he's built, like 9-figure, 8-figure,
Yeah,
whatever.
I know we both into his work. I know that.
Like,
We love
yeah,
his
like
work.
honestly, like just the stuff, the amount of value, the volume that he does, that he pushes out, and it's usually valuable stuff, like positions it's himself as an authority. Like, you cannot doubt that actually he knows about sales and offers, because he talks about it every single day on so many platforms, and it gives you so much value for free that then the next thing is like, okay, please help me, because I know everything now, but I just don't know how to apply it. So like, go faster with the one-to-one. And I think that I just want to make another point regarding the lead magnets. I think it's super important to have an evergreen, and I would get into like even understanding what an evergreen is. And I first say my opinion, then I would like to hear yours.
Sure.
But personally, I think that so many people maybe have like a lead magnet that is 50% valuable, right? It's like, it's an average lead magnet. And so like, people just don't see it valuable enough, and they won't opt in with an email. And in general, like, it's just not going to move the needle as much as they would like it to. But that's why it's so key, when you're trying to craft your own evergreen lead magnet, to really think about your ICP's pain, the gap where he or she's they're at, and basically say, okay, what's one piece of information, one tool, one lesson that I can give them, so that they can start moving as much as they can from A to B. Of course, the best thing would be like for people to actually tell you, I've signed a 2K client using your guide, right? That would be incredible. But it's really about making that lead magnet hyper strategic and hyper valuable, so that then it's really like an evergreen. And I just wanted to hear your opinion on that, on how you also craft like an evergreen lead magnet.
Yeah, so to me, and because I was thinking about that for very long time, like when I say very long time, I execute very, very fast. So when, to me, very long time is like was 48 hours. I remember I came up with my idea when I was skiing in New Zealand on the slopes. I came up with the idea that I want to do this email course, and I came home. Yeah, I know. I came home, and I literally locked myself in a room, and I got it done like in 2 days. Like 6 emails, focusing in deep focus mode work. But to me, evergreen is something that's gonna give you value today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So the concepts that I package, for example, in my email course, they haven't changed since 1900s. How you sell hasn't changed. How you call different things has, but how you sell, that you need to be clear what you sell, who you sell it to, at what price you sell, and how to talk to as many people about what you sell. Like that. That's how. And then obviously ask for exchange the money for the service or for the product. That's it. Nothing changed. Sales haven't changed. So for me, it was more about how I can package in really simple language for people who, at that time, most of my clients were people who were still in corporate thinking about studying on the side. Now I work more and more with people who are already out and 100% made decision in their head that there is no way back. So they are like really committed to going all in. But back then it's like, how can I make it really simple for people who don't know what leads is, outreach, outbound, inbound, content, brand. So how can I make it simple? So I created like a 5+1. So 5 emails giving value about positioning, offer, price, sales, and then content, and then at the end, just a story from my client. So 5+1. So it's something that you can download, and it stands. So I think I had 150 people downloading that lead magnet for me, and it's been only 6 months on my page. So, and then I had, as I said, like I have screenshots from people who signed their clients from just that course. So I myself love that course. I think that basics stands there. So I think given that kind of value, and then obviously it's just an example of my really great evergreen lead magnet, and you can have a few of those, and depending on what service you have, because for B2B and B2C, I would say the lead magnets need to be quite different. And it can be assessment, it can be a free webinar, pre-recorded webinar, it can be a quiz. People love quizzes, and I think Daniel Priestley talks a lot about that. So have some kind of quiz, even for B2B and B2C, with some assessment. So my clients have very different evergreen lead magnets, actually.
Yeah, I think that it really comes down to the niche, to the service that they offer. Especially, I find that, for example, when I work, with mindset coaches, for example, like for them to spot a mindset problem in a lead as much as maybe me and you could do, because we offer like LinkedIn business coaching, right? Like for them, it's a bit harder. So for example, having like a quiz, a questionnaire, like an assessment, that could be something. Or in general, I think that something super valuable is basically getting whoever downloads your free value, like your free resource, to basically make up a plan in their own mind so that they know what to do. And then what's missing, like they understand tactically what they should be doing. And then the natural solution for them that you can offer them is like, do you need help? Like, do you need with the execution? Do you need support, accountability, right? And that's when, our service comes in, because like we can give you information, you can go out and apply it. But if you need that support, then we can offer it. And I think the same with, our ICPs for most B2B, I think, offering a service, consultants, like it really is about how can you make sure that your reader, your dream client, understands what they should be doing, and then whenever they need to get ready and actually do it, they'll be like, damn, I know what to do, but I just don't know how. So like let me call again like Anna or Giorgio, so that we can we can set a plan and actually execute together. Because like everyone has their own business. So like if you want to grow, if you need support, that's when the one-to-one or like real support comes in, and that's when you sell a service.
Coaching, having someone by your side. Or you can do more research, as Peter Kron says, do more research. That's fine, and that's fine either. Like we all have been at different stages of our life. Like for me now, I said it in one of my newsletters, I think. So one of the learnings I had recently is that when you are 30 plus, I think the value of time becomes like, it's so crucial that I will pay any money to get me somewhere faster. Like for me now, time is more precious, because everything I do, I calculate how many minutes of the time are lost from not hugging my little boy, from not being with my teenage daughter. Like, so obviously, on their terms, when they want me around, and I'm just, trying to figure out stuff. So I would rather get someone and pay than losing that time. So for me now, the value of time is so crucial. And I'm 38, about to turn 39, right? And I have 2 children, and especially I always say 30 plus, the value of time becomes so crucial. And then once you start having children, and once you start having 2 children, the value of time becomes like really crazy. So like it's all, you just have to weigh it all down.
100%. 100%. And it really comes back to what you said before, like with Peter Kron, like, or with what you said also yourself, like either you have time or you have money. Like it's difficult to like have both, right? And so for whoever has the time to go and implement the learnings that you're gonna give with free content, that's fine. That's not your dream client, because they are not in a stage in the buyer's journey. They're not feeling their pain strongly enough that they're gonna commit to a high ticket purchase in order to get help. But because they have time, then you just need to work on the other bubble, which is very wealthy and like very healthy, not just wealthy. Like there is a good number of ICPs probably that you can talk to that do have a problem, do have the money, but do not have the time. And so
Yeah.
you just need to talk to them.
Yeah.
And the way you do it is give.
Give. Yeah. It's what I think what, again, Alex Hormozi says, like either, I remember, because I'm subscribed to his newsletter, right? Mozi in a Minute. That's how it's called. And he says, either service like very rich people at a very high price, or or sell a low ticket to everyone, but never be stuck in the middle. In the middle is where you die. Like your offer, and that's why the research said there are those two concepts, high ticket and low ticket. And there is no such concept as like middle ticket. Obviously, of course we have like offer stack, and we have premium and middle offer, and then low entry offer. But generally speaking, you're absolutely right. So like find people who that's a skill in itself, to find people who need something to be solved urgently, and then obviously help them with that. That's absolutely kind of thing. So I want to ask you about like lead magnets. Can we talk more about lead magnets? How many of those lead magnets, what's your view on how many of those lead magnets? And I have my view, but I can share later. Well, how many lead magnets do we need to have, and why lead magnets are important for every business owner who are trying to build service-based business, especially online?
So just to understand like whether I got your question correctly, you mean like how many lead magnets at the same time, or
no, like what my questions are, I remember, Matt Gray, right? Matt Gray is pretty big in the coaching space.
Very big, yeah.
And I remember I read somewhere he has 900 lead magnets. 900 lead magnets. So for me, I remember when I started, I thought, and that's also a point I want to make, is that never underestimate the volume of everything you have to do. So I remember when I started, I thought, it's okay, I'm just going to do one. It's perfectly fine. Just one. I'm just going to have one lead magnet, one conversation, and then I'm just going to be, become a millionaire. My business is going to thrive. Obviously, it doesn't work like that. And I think once, and that's why it's it's so important to talk to different people, because then it gives you perspective and it gives you understanding of, bloody hell, like I didn't know how it works. There are stages. It's called uninformed optimism, then informed pessimism. Like there are 5 stages that you go through. So we all at this, when we start, we think it's uninformed optimism. It's like, oh, I can do that, just one of those. And I'm like, but then once you get more and more information and you spend a bit more time, you realize that it's actually not that straightforward and not that simple. So like, that's why I was asking like how many, because I currently don't have 900. I'm actually like working on lead magnets all the time myself. My coach has a ton of lead magnets, a ton. Like for every post he writes, it's a lead magnet. So another coach, I just came from Mastermind, he actually like, Anna, do you have a 2-hour training that you can give to your prospects? You got to record a proper 2-hour training of how the process works. I'm like, 2-hour training? Like I have 15 minutes YouTube videos. It's like, no, 2-hour, like full on training. So now I'm like creating this 2-hour training, which is going to be like insane value. So, which is just going to be shared as for free as a lead magnet.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, what's your thought on that?
Okay. So I have a few thoughts, especially now that you broke it down. And I'm a bit more clear. And I would start by saying one thing. So we all start from somewhere, right? So we're not the Matt Gray with like millions of followers across multiple platforms. He also started somewhere. And I'm 100% sure. and confident in what I'm saying that he didn't have 900 lead magnets when he started. Especially now,
Yeah,
I'm reading a book that is like Company of One, and like the one thing is keep it simple. So I would say start by keeping it simple, because if you keep it simple to begin with, then you keep it sustainable and you can keep going at it for the longest time, right?
without being
Otherwise, if you
overwhelmed.
exactly, without being overwhelmed. Otherwise, you start, you say, "Oh shoot, my gray has 900. I need to have 900." Then you're gonna try to
But you
build
are
that,
not
and
Matt Gray. You're
exactly,
comparing yourself in chapter number 5 or number 3 to someone's in chapter number 333. Yes, of course.
exactly. So to begin with, I would say start with one, then add complexity from
Build
there.
up.
And build up, exactly. And build up a value bank nearly. Like you have the content bank and then build the value bank. And I think that when it comes to building the value bank, it's not even just about you taking the time to build a lead magnet, an email campaign, or anything like so specific, the 2-hour training, like, you can do that in different ways. So for example, like we're now chatting in a LinkedIn Live. This is a lead magnet. And then we're going to put this, like, first of all, we're giving free value live, right? So it works as one lead magnet. For anyone who wants to watch it again, or for anyone who missed it, we're both going to upload it to our YouTube. And that's, again, like lead magnets, like people are going to be able to binge watch like all of the stuff that we've created, and we can turn that then into value, and then take that as, take some of the conversations, put them into posts, and turn that into value. So like when we think about creating free value, like honestly, the possibilities are endless. And so
Endless.
I would say like double down on free value, double down on value in general, but don't get overwhelmed with like, okay, I need to do everything right from the beginning.
At the same time,
Because,
no.
and I would say that the path would be like find something really valuable for your ICP that feels simple enough so that you can create that one lead magnet, maybe an evergreen, as we were talking about before. Start with one, and then understand like, okay, do I have the capacity? Can I do that? What should I add to this so that it feels strategic also for the offer that I'm trying to push in this very moment, right? For the service or for the package that I really want to push right now. And it's always a strategic discussion, in my opinion, never just like a given at any point in time, but it's really like a momentaneous decision that needs to be assessed strategically, and then say, okay, I was just talking, for example, with a prospect, and she was telling me, as a career coach, she was telling me like, I don't have any capacity to work with one-on-one clients at the moment. So I'm trying to sell like my digital product. So basically the same stuff, just packaged in a course. And then I was like, okay, so how do you want to package that? It's like, what would make sense to have on your profile and as a lead magnet so that people get enough value, and then like that's your low ticket, like as you said before. That is the strategic conversation that you need to have with yourself in order to be successful in a solo person business, because you don't have a team. You cannot say, hey, Anna, do this, Giorgio, do that, like John, do the other thing.
You can't when you start, and that's absolutely right. And like, to give a perspective, so for example, when I started, I didn't have lead magnet, but I wasted time. Like, I wish I had. That's just a mistake. That's just lack of my knowledge. And I wish I had, because I would have built up my email list much faster, but that's okay. Like, that's why, I wasted, as I say, I wasted 6 months, and I went and hired quite a few people who kind of trained me on a lot of things. I know we all do, but I always say, if you can minimize the number of mistakes, you're going to progress faster. And of course, it's all about, I was talking to one of the clients and a prospect, and she was like, I've been writing a book for like 2 years. I didn't have clients, but I'm not in a rush. Like, I'm not in a rush. Like, for example, if you're not in a rush and you have many years you can afford not to make money, or like, then whatever I'm going to say here, absolutely not applicable. Absolutely not applicable. You can just have one conversation per month and that's fine. Whereas for me, situation was different. I had to make it work. I had commitments and I wanted to make money out of what I do. So I do regret a lot of, like, when I say regret, I could have done many different things differently, but I didn't have my magnet for 6 months, and then I implemented this evergreen magnet, which is really good. And I didn't have any other lead magnets for like 6 months. But then I thought that one lead magnet would be enough, until I realized and spoke to quite a few people that you have to constantly build up their bank of lead magnets, bank of free value, through masterclasses, through trainings, through videos, through Looms, through PDFs, through questionnaires, through assessments, like different multiple things for different people, and provide them in messages, in outreach, in inbound conversations, whatever it is, everywhere. And you build up your email list, and you build up trust, and you build up connection, and eventually you sign your high ticket clients.
Absolutely. And I think that maybe I also have a lot of what ifs, to be honest. The email list, honestly, is one of the big ones as well for me, because I basically started just recently. But you know what? The thing is, everything changes. And that's why also when I say, like, it's a strategic decision that has to be taken in the moment, and mistakes will be made. So just accept it. The thing is, like, now more than ever, being strategic with the value and with the visibility is super important, because the LinkedIn algorithm is not very friendly these days. And so, like, the visibility for each post has gone down massively. And so, like, what before could be like the mistakes or like the gaps that before could be like filled just with content, with good content, and with like nurturing through conversations, then now is basically,
It's a different
it's
era.
like it's a different era. So that's why I think that this conversation happened even in this moment in time, because I think that both of us, we've lived through the process, and we now understand the value of like free content and free value. But it's important right now to build that value bank, because whenever someone jumps into your funnel, then you really want to maximize the opportunity that that prospect becomes a client. It's not as forgiving as it used to be. Maybe in 2024, beginning of 2025, you have 1,000 viewers per day. Like, one of them will convert even with the worst funnel and no nurturing whatsoever. But now the numbers are lower. So you need to be really strategic and think thoroughly on how you operate and give more value. Also use different platforms in a way, like LinkedIn Live and YouTube. Like, that is a way of differentiation.
Long form content,
but also also the DMs. I think I've been for a while like against outbound, like outreach. I was always doing like
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan.
I know. I remember like we were talking, you were preaching for that. And at the time I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to be salesy. I was like, still growing up and getting to understand, like, the way I sell anyways, I want to sell is still value driven, still like wants to be just like you. But at the time I was like, I cannot be value driven by doing outreach.
You still, you at that time you didn't find your
exactly. But so I had enough chances of like starting conversations with people that would, I would grab the attention of through my content. They would come through my profile. I would start, of course, the conversation. So the signals, I was aware. I was just not doing enough outbound. And I think that right now outbound, and I even teach it to my clients in my funnel, outbound is in the first part of visibility. Because sometimes if your posts don't reach your dream clients, you got to do the extra mile. You got to knock on their door and be like, hello, I'm here and 100%. I want to give you value. Do you want to have the value from me? Yes or no?
100%. And then it's interesting, like there are many ways how you can do that, but as I always say, I think it's Alex Hormozy phrase again. So he says, like, if you don't make $1 million per year, the chances are pretty high no one knows you exist. As simple as that. Like, no one knows you exist. And in the economy of attention and brand building, it's super, super important for people to know that you exist, and they need to see you, and they need to be able to consume you. And there is no better way than through the conversation and outreach and the message, because that's how also trust is built. And now the trust is so undermined through all this AI stuff and all the things that people got burnt about, and all the scams. So I think that trust and connection, that's what people's going to be paying premium for. That's my 100% belief in that. So I think that's why outreach is very important, and then supported by that additional value that you provide around.
And I think on this topic, because I'm so with you that you need to build trust. The whole point of everything is building trust, and right now we're in a distrust era on on social media. And I think I just want to pinpoint this topic and say the best thing there is right now to build trust is showing that you're a human. So right now, right here in this live, we're showcasing that we're humans.
All real.
Exactly. All the wrinkles.
All the wrinkles.
So,
I'm real.
No, me.
You have no wrinkles. Come on.
But it makes sense to just show your face. And that's something that I really advise some clients who can, is to do lead magnets that also include as much as possible video. And if it's not in the lead magnet, like for example, as a downloadable lead magnet, by the way, mine is a video. If it's not a video, then make sure that you go live, you're seen, your expertise is spoken for in a video, because AI hasn't caught up yet in making super realistic videos without spending a ton of money and training it perfectly. And so chances are that most videos with one person talking or two people
is
definitely real at the moment. Whilst instead, as you said, posts, everyone uses AI. So everyone seems like an authority. Everyone can go and ask ChatGPT, hey, what's the top 10 tips to do XYZ? And everyone can post that. But what nobody or not many can do is jump onto a call, do a live like we're doing, and spend 60 minutes going from A to B in the business or in the service that they offer, and talk in depth about everything and showcasing personality, capability,
values,
and values and authority. That is still a package that is so important to show right now. And that's why I would really make a point and say, try to do video as much as possible. Even if you're shit on camera, it's hard to just do it yourself and talk to camera. It's hard.
Yes.
Just
and
have conversations
100%,
like this.
100%. But also remember, you never get better if you don't do it. It's impossible to get better at something. You should see, and that's why I have my first video on my YouTube channel, and now I have my 75th video. You should see the difference. Do 100 of everything, 100 messages, 100 calls, sales calls, 100 videos, and you're going to be better. Me talking here in the camera is I spent hours already with the camera. I do public speaking, but you should see me again. Don't compare someone if you are starting, don't compare someone who is already a bit further. This is just not comparison bias, going to kill all the momentum. It's not good. So that's why start wherever you can, and honestly, just get better. That's the thing that you need to be concerned about. And I fully agree. Video is a good idea. I love this conversation, Giulio. What about questions? Do we have any questions? Do you want to have a look?
Yeah, I think we do have a question. So Ragda she asks, how can we bring not those looking for quick value in the conversation, I imagine, and I think that this goes back probably to the point that we're trying to make when you give just free value or free GPTs or like templates, and people can opt in easily or without giving you the email. And I think that apart from this, maybe Anna, do you want to expand on it, on how to attract the right people?
The right clientele, the right people, the right prospects. So there are a few ways. So firstly is how you position yourself through the positioning statement in your tagline on LinkedIn, right? It actually also says a lot straight away. Secondly, how you qualify your potential prospects through your content, because your content is a way to pre-qualify as well. It's a massive way to pre-qualify your values, your approach, your style, your authority, like everything, who you work with. You literally write like, I had a client who is my ideal client, blah, 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 and name who's like, not the person name, but the type of the client, like who are they? You kind of pre-qualify through the content. Your content should repel or attract. That's what I say to my clients all the time. If it's just, oh, it's nice, it's just nice.
It's cute.
Like we don't want that. Like don't want. It's either I just love this person, I want to work with this person, I trust this person, I want to consume more of them, or you know what, this is absolutely not my person. Unfollow button. Like that kind of. That's what your content needs to do. So I think if you do that properly through those two things, that's your first step. And then when you obviously make it a bit harder through the email collection, ask for them to download, and then always follow up. Hey George, I saw you downloaded my lead magnet. What were your thoughts around that? Did it solve that problem XYZ that you were trying to solve? Is there anything I can do more for you? Just have that conversation. And it comes to like literally like human curiosity. And it's like, I get those, and it's like people like tell me, my clients tell me, oh, what if I message and then they say they hate me? Then they say, there is a book by Mel Robbins, let them. They hate you. Yeah. Let them. It's their emotion. It's not up to you to carry. You move on to the next on the list and you find your crew.
Or the other title of the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Not giving a
fuck. And I think I want to continue this like on this point, but Daryl, and I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, asked, how do you go about creating your content and learning courses? My hesitation is just becoming an echo chamber, but I think that might be the reality for all, just layered with life experiences. And I think I just want to, continuing, because you were talking about content and answering Daryl, I think, when I look at content, for example, I'm 100% with you that content should really position yourself, show expertise, and break down your wins and how you get those wins, right? Like, of course, we want to build trust. The ultimate thing that we want to create is trust, but we want to make sure that whenever you get into content and you post something, it says something about who you are, what you stand for, who you work with, why you work with them, and how you can help them. So also, what you want to say is like what makes you different, right? So the differentiation, the positioning by differentiation. And so, like, for example, my lead magnet actually is a downloadable video in which I break down my process on how I see content, because like it's really simple to become an echo chamber if you don't give your point of view. The one thing that will keep you making special is your unique point of view. And as you were saying before, it's not nice or cute. It needs to be either best or worst, because then people have the possibility of saying, I really like Anna, I really dislike Anna. Either way, you're winning, because one is a great follower, the other one is someone who unfollows, and anyways, they will never buy from you. So it's fine. But I don't want to say like create those enemies on purpose. It's just like be yourself 100%. Talk about who you are and what you do all the time, repeatedly, so that your content becomes basically like a shopping window for
Yeah,
people
100%.
to just understand your world. So that is how I would go at it.
Fully with you. Just stand for something. Stand for something.
Absolutely.
If you stand for nothing, you know, like then you just get lost in the noise. But if you stand for something, if you have very particular views, and which I might not agree with, you know, someone else might not agree, but that's okay. Like, and then how you work, which again, like for example, my approach is very direct. I move with speed. I'm very direct. It won't work. So if you come like you know, if you come for very slow, very like therapeutic kind of environment, I'm probably not a coach for you. I'm a coach who's going to give you results from point A to point B in the most efficient way. We're going to move fast. Like if that's what you love, like I'm your person. If you don't like that, and that's okay. There are thousands of other people who you will relate much more to. That's fine. So this is very important, Daryl. Like just be you.
Yeah, and sometimes also like I find that sometimes it's really simple to basically arrive to who you are by saying what you are not, or for example, to say what you do by saying what you don't do, right? So like you might arrive to your values if you think, if the question like what are my values, what do I stand for, you know, like is something that feels a bit too woo or too difficult to answer. Sometimes it's like, what would I never do, you know, for my clients? What would I never do in business to make money? And that will give you a better insight of who you are and what you actually stand for. So for example, I wouldn't use AI, right, to connect and to, or I just wouldn't give just templates, but I want to give people the support that they need to actually achieve
human connection, because we are both wired for human connection. That's why it's
exactly like so like it's super important. So Daryl, I hope we answered your question. And I think that on this note, there's no more questions.
I think no more. I think we are on time, so we will wrap up. And people will get, I think, you know, if you download this video into like you know, transcribe, you're gonna get like so many pieces of value, you know, embedded like throughout the whole conversation. So yeah, if someone doesn't have time to watch the whole hour, just transcribe it and then summarize it and see the whole, you know, the summary of the value from the conversation. But I absolutely loved, you know, connecting, Giorgio. Just it's a joy.
Yes, same for me, honestly. Like I think I wish for everyone in general in this conversation to meet Anna, to get to meet Nathan in person.
And you too. You're such a lovely guy.
Cheers.
You know what? You're not just lovely guy. You're the guy who knows your stuff. So, and you know, you really care. You really care about your clients, which is not very often, but it's amazing. So, yeah, you guys, you know, everyone who wants to connect with us, but we're gonna finish here.
Well, the honey stuff. Daryl, Daryl said, like, thanks both. Being self, I can do. And it makes sense. Be comfortable with echo chamber, but with personal spin, simple and effective. 100%. Just be 100% yourself and you will stand out. But point out also, you know, like, make sure that you understand, like, also what you are not, so that people can really clarify that.
Yeah.
Anna, thank you so much for this. For all of you listening, I hope as like that you got so much value and that you're going to be able to implement it from today. We'll wrap it up here and we'll see you around. Ciao, Anna.
See ya.
Great talking to you.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.